Digital addictions. How can social media apps be regulated to prevent deterioration of social skills? By
Willis Neeranj,
Michael Hamra,
Daniel Pagnone.
and Luca McLean.
Digital addictions are the urge to be on technology all the time. They cause people to spend more time online than offline, and they also cause people to rely on technology for happiness. A quote that backs up this idea of digital addictions, coming from the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, is when teenagers experience stress, be it a romantic rejection or poor grade on an exam, technology can become a quick and easy way to fill basic needs, and as such, can become addictive. There are many addicting factors of social media, including the algorithm, which favors attention-grabbing posts, and the infinite scroll, which provides an endless void of short-form content. This chart from the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health shows that sleep, healthy eating, social interactions, exercise, and impulse control are all negatively affected from social media use. There are many flaws with online chatting. One of the biggest flaws is the ease of it. Online chatting provides a very unrealistic scenario of conversation that can cause people to lose real-life social skills. And cyberbullying is another large flaw with online chatting, since mainly due to anonymous profiles, people can get easily bullied, which can ruin someone's self-esteem and cause them to fear social interactions. There are many negative effects on social skills coming from social media use, including people putting technology over their social life, prioritizing online chatting and using it as their main communication method, and people living a double life, being a completely different person online than offline. An experiment from J. Lowe's Powell's and the APA PsychNet shows that real-life social interactions are negatively affected from online social interactions.
Our first solution is government regulation. Now, the three big pillars of government regulation are transparency, accountability, and age restriction. Transparency would take the form of forcing companies to reveal data such as their demographics, the data that powers their algorithms, and any other data that would be useful to researchers, since scientists aren't fully sure of all the intricacies of social media addiction and its effects. Experienced writer Megan McCluskey writes in Time magazine, a high-ranking periodical on the Adfon Test Media's biochart, when you look at some of what's happened around misinformation and disinformation, there's some pretty good evidence that it's not necessarily being algorithmically fed to people, but that instead people are choosing to join groups in which it is the currency of the day. And without the ability to obtain more data, researchers aren't able to fully get to the root of these escalating issues. This issue of transparency and forcing companies to reveal more data would have to be balanced out with the privacy of users, which is one big concern. The next pillar is accountability, which would be focused on making companies legally liable for damages they cause and would force them to take up self-regulation and less harmful practices for keeping users on their platforms. The final pillar is age restriction, which would focus on protecting children by restricting their access to content such as illicit content, hate speech, and misinformation. Some of the negatives of it are that the business model where companies and creators would both face issues and challenges switching over their content from the way it is currently made, since they currently focus on grabbing your attention and holding it as long as possible because that is how they make their profit, and have to face major changes or suffer profit loss and maybe even lose workers. And as mentioned earlier, privacy is a big concern and brings certain controversies to pieces of legislation. Dr. Kimberly Johepson writes in the high credibility, yet slightly right-leaning Foundation for Economic Education, if there's an age restriction for site access or parental permission needs to be granted, then there must be a means of proving it. Therefore, sensitive data will be collected to both prove the identity of the child and their parents, and there is no guarantee that information can be kept safe. Finally, there are some implementation disagreements between different political parties, the users, the creators, and especially the companies. This would take the form of disagreement on legislation and definitions. For example, the Stop Addictive Feeds Exploitation for Kids Act, which recently passed in New York, brings some controversy as policy advocates interviewed by the BBC stated it could set back some of the much needed efforts to address the real world hazards of social media, such as child abuse material, privacy violations, hate speech, misinformation, dangerous and illegal content, and more.
Solution 2, self-regulation. A 2018 University of Pennsylvania study found that reducing your social media usage to 30 minutes a day can result in less accounts of loneliness, anxiety, depression, and sleep problems. And setting goals can help you to know how you're going to enter a problem. It directly correlates with time limits, as you set a goal to only have a certain amount of time on social media a day. According to helpguide.org, which is an independent nonprofit that runs one of the world's leading mental health websites, spending time with friends and family in person can help us to be happy and healthy. So getting together with people can help you to bring yourself away from the screen, which can take away those harmful effects of social media. However, self-regulation has limitations on effectiveness due to one's ability to impose self-control and boundaries. According to a June 2022 study by Leonard Renicky and his colleagues in Psychology Today, this is largely driven by a number of factors, including the wide accessibility of social media, social dynamics that drive everyone to communicate on digital platforms, the extent of time the person has, and personal characteristics including habits and mindfulness. The study found that while digital media can be beneficial, it also found that the optimal balance between the benefits and drawbacks of social media use is a regulatory challenge. So there are some benefits to implementing this, and that'll be a reduction of social media use, and there'll be less accounts of those bad, the harmful effects that social media addiction brings. Leonard Renicky and his colleagues said in their paper, at the same time, social media use challenges and interferes with self-regulation by disturbing self-monitoring and goal implementation processes through distraction and displacement. There are some losses, though, from implementing this, as social media provides an outlet for creativity, allows you to talk to people who aren't accessible through physical contact, and it helps to spread awareness easier. Helpguide.org says that while virtual interaction on social media doesn't have the same psychological benefits as face-to-face contact, there's still many positive ways in which it can help you stay connected and support your well-being.
After much research, we've concluded that the best solution is a hybrid solution. Why self-regulation is a great solution? First off, it's the much more simple solution. There are many moving aspects in government regulation, which could mean voting on proposed government measures or even voting on committees to be formed that are under government control. In addition, personalization is a key feature in self-regulation, as it is user-guided, meaning each individual has the power to regulate and create a system that works for them, and they can personalize it by setting screen time limits, silencing notifications, or even deleting social media apps and more.
Self-regulation also has the benefit of having a strong community. When I was dealing with YouTube Shorts addiction, spending way too much time on it, I was able to use resources in the community and found an extension that blocked YouTube Shorts scrolling on Google. And after that, my time on YouTube Shorts dropped exponentially. The community can also help regulate these issues because it can hold users and platforms accountable and provide alternative ways to stay off the platforms.
And then in addition, government regulation has many positives, which include parental approval. The SAFE Act, as Daniel has previously mentioned, is currently being implemented. However, it is highly controversial, as some people agree with it while others do not. It basically states that children under the age of 18 must be given parent permission or consent to download social media and to have an account. And then in addition, the government can also implement warning labels, and these have been called for by many people, including U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy. The spokesperson for Meta says that we welcome New York becoming the first state to pass legislation recognizing the responsibility of app stores. They then went on to point out research suggesting that parents support acts such as the SAFE Act, and in addition, they added they will continue to work to advance this approach. Based off this research and these quotes, the best solution, and based off expert solution, hybrid solution is the best solution to this problem.
Here's our bibliography, and thanks for listening.
Nice job. Unfortunately, you guys ran a little long, and you're already pretty fluid. Like, you guys were pretty fluid in your delivery. There wasn't a lot of you didn't seem to be driving through. You guys got a ton of evidence you can probably afford to cut. You're going to kind of have to see where it might be a good idea. Because now it's like, it's 10 minutes and we really like it. Yeah, really good delivery.
You're Branson.
Oh,
you're on that side. Go back to the yeah. What? Shut up, I didn't even hear you. Wait, what is this? P10? I figured it does. Oh, he's on my side. You got it.
Which table you
Dad, go get my stuff.
Oh, the first four are already gone. The fifth and the sixth one is these two tables. You guys can go fifth. Yeah, ask your table if you want to go last.
You need the fifth. Is it
You go fifth, you go sixth?
Yeah. Okay, you guys have six.
Yeah, that'll be the order. Then you guys will go fifth, then you'll go sixth.
Who just has this?
You guys normally sit here, right? So red,
What? Yeah, that's right.
yellow. You're the yellow group. Hey, orange group, upload your slots if you guys haven't done it. Is it up there?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And then you guys are preventing job losses, right? Yeah. That's nice. Show the rubric.